On air. Okay. We should be on the air. Assuming everything's good.
Are you checking right now? Boom. I see it.
You see it right now?
It says we live, baby.
That's cool. All right. I'm going to switch this over. There it is. All right. You're up there now.
Am I? Hey.
Yep. All right. Welcome to the Pious Reflections Podcast, the most professional podcast on the internet. And I'm your host, Daniel Roberts, and this is my lovely wife, Lindsay Roberts.
Here I am.
Who is a guest, but it's not switching fast enough.
Is it not?
It's not. Now it is. There you go.
I'm a guest. You
just need to talk more.
I just need to say things louder.
Nag a
with
little
more
more.
confidence.
Yeah.
More nagging.
It's true. So we went to Washington, D.C. to support our friend, Kaley Chiles, at the Supreme Court. And we are going to talk about all of the crazy God stuff that happened while we were there. And if you're Catholic, you're going to love it. If you're Protestant, you're going to be a little squeamish. Squeamish?
A little squeamy.
A little squeamy. That's a new word.
I'm a little squeamy just hearing that
Just a
word.
little squeamy. Yeah, it sounds like a dirty word. It doesn't sound like a word you should say to your say to people. Like,
don't say it in public, only in private.
It's like when a parent says potty.
I say potty all the time.
I gotta go potty, yeah, but when you first start saying it, you feel like a little awkward.
You feel a little silly.
Yeah, I feel a little squeamy
There's
about it.
There's gotta be a dog or a kid under the age of 4 if you're gonna say the word potty.
It's true.
So anyway, so you said we're gonna talk about this.
Yes, we're gonna talk about that. We're not gonna talk much about the case. We'll talk a little bit about the case, but not much. But the big things I want to talk about is how small conversations lead to big results, which is pretty cool. Kaley had told us multiple times that while we were there, and also what?
Keep going.
What
else were you going to talk about?
Oh, yeah.
You're just launching into the story.
I'm sorry. All right, we're going to talk about little things, go into big things. Thank you. I appreciate that. And then the next thing that we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about all of the cool God moments that we had in Washington, D.C., from praying the rosary by ourselves out front in the Capitol, which was pretty intimidating with all these protesters, to getting to go to a massive, no pun intended, massive Catholic Mass at the Basilica of the Shrine of the Immaculate Conception, and then just crazy. I mean, totally subjective, totally personal, but deeply meaningful moments where God, like, I've just never seen God move so frequently, so many times in a day for my life.
Yeah, I'm just excited to talk about all this. It was a big deal for us. It was a big trip, and it was just the two of us that went, and I'm excited for all of our friends to get to hear about it.
Yes.
So,
all right. So what are we going to dive into first?
Okay.
I guess we should talk about how we got there.
Yeah. How did we end up?
Okay. So this is how we ended up in D.C. 4 years ago. I was a wee little lad. And I'm just kidding. No, 4 years ago, we were actually out in Colorado. So little background story. We know Kaley and James. Kaley is the counselor who was being represented at the Supreme Court by Alliance Defending Freedom. Shout out. And if you don't know who Alliance Defending Freedom is, which surprisingly a lot of people don't know, but they are essentially fighting for everybody's religious freedom in America, especially Christians. The right to religious liberty is basically their thing, keeping the doors open for the gospel and fighting for the truth and freedom of speech. So if you know about Jack the Cake Baker, he's gone to the Supreme Court multiple times because he won't bake a cake for a gay wedding. And so he's been there, and ADF has represented him multiple times. So Kaley is a friend of ours, and she was represented at the Supreme Court this week on Tuesday, from 10 to 11?
From 10 to 11:30.
10 to 11:30, and that's important. on October 7th, Our Lady of Victory. More on that in a minute. So the way we know Kaley and James, her husband, is that shortly after college, Lindsay and I got married and went out to Colorado for a stint. And we met Kaley and James there doing ministry at a Calvary Chapel church in the Springs. And we met them before they got engaged, and right?
Yeah. Yeah, we knew them when they were just dating.
Yeah, when they were dating. Yeah. They'd come over to our house and we'd talk about marriage and stuff, and because we knew everything at that point.
We had been married for a solid year.
Yeah, so we had it all figured out.
Yeah, we were experts already.
Yep.
Happy to share our knowledge and wisdom
exactly.
with anyone who would listen.
And to be fair, I feel like we were pretty much right about everything we said.
We've pretty much been saying the same. It's kind of like how the Catholic Church started with the Apostles' Creed, and then they just keep adding on more good. I'm just saying, it's not. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be sacrilegious. I'm just saying we started with a baseline, and I would not recant any of the things that we used to say about marriage. I would just say we've added on to it.
Yeah, probably.
That's all I'm saying.
Anyway, so we were pretty happy to have them in our lives. And then they got engaged, and then they asked us to be in their wedding. And so I was a groomsman in James's wedding, and Lindsay was a bridesmaid in
Kaylee's
wedding. Well, it was their wedding.
It was actually the same wedding.
Yeah,
it was
right.
Very convenient for us,
it's true.
Traveling and all that same day.
But anyway, so we were there. I got a nasty ear infection, which they actually found out about at the Supreme Court after party kind of get together. They had no idea that actually when we were in their wedding, I actually went, man, you've got that really sensitive. Like if you chuckle, it is literally just changing. Yeah. Did you change? What are the sample sizes?
It should be the same size. It should be, okay, so for me and you, sample size is the same. It's 45.
Okay. Well, we'll try it again. Let us know in the comments if you feel like the cameras are switching too much.
But if you like hearing me laugh, if you like seeing my face when I'm laughing, then...
Yeah. If you like how the transitions are going, let us know in the comments.
And if you hate it.
You need to let us know that too, because sometimes those family and friends don't like to put negative things in the comments, but bad news is still promotion. So, what is it? What is it? Bad news is still free marketing or something like that?
That sounds right.
Something like that. Anyway. So we were in their wedding. I got an ear infection. Had to go to the ER. It was a whole thing. They had no idea though,
but it was wonderful.
Which means that I crushed it as a groomsman because I was like down and out. Showed up, wore the bow tie. Yes, I still remember, James, that I wore the bow tie. I wonder if they're gonna watch this. That's gonna be funny.
That'll be
Hi, James and Kaley. Anyway, so then, fast forward, we move all over the country, and they're married. They stay out in Colorado. And we are asked by another friend of ours, Jordan, and he asks if we will be out there for his wedding, if I would be willing to be in it. So I say, sure. And so then we go out there. Kaley and James find out that we're out there and ask if we can meet. And we say, sure. Although I was kind of like, if I'm totally honest, I was like, well, we're out here for a wedding. We're pretty busy. Might be hard to make it work. But Kaley and James are always good at making it work. And so they clearly, because they made it to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And so they squeezed us in, and we squeezed them in. And we sat in Jordan's home at his dinner table, and she proceeds to tell us about her trying to make a decision as to whether or not she's going to take a stand for her faith. And I'm not going to get into the details of that whole conversation because it was very personal, and that's Kaley's story to tell. But I can say this, because this is kind of how I've said it, is Lindsay and I both sat there with her, heard the whole thing, and we talked for a while. And the gist of the conversation was this: if you're not going to take a stand for your faith on this issue, then the issue of the court case and all this stuff of transgenderism and in the counseling chamber and all this stuff.
What is considered conversion therapy, all of that.
All of these kinds of things. If you're not going to take a stand on that, then where are you going to take a stand? And you got to at least answer that question. And I had just read Jordan Peterson, and he had mentioned, you got to you have to have a line in the sand, even if it's arbitrary. You got to have a line in the sand that you will not cross, if for no other reason than to have integrity. But as Christians, we know that some of those lines are drawn for us. And so I said, you should at least reach out to ADF. I was very familiar with their work at this point, and I said, at least see what they can do for you. And so, and then make your decision. And who knows? I remember saying this. I said, who knows? You might end up at the Supreme Court. And she did. She ended up at the Supreme Court. How cool is that? So anyway, I'm just redlined our mics. So anyway, I was pretty excited about this. Like, I was geeking out the whole time we were there. I just could not believe that I was watching, Kaley and James, and then this became kind of a family affair because my brother ended up hiring her, because when you take a stand like this, it can cause people to not want to be affiliated with you, and so my brother took a stand, and he ended up bringing her on, and I was so excited. I got to see them walk into the Supreme Court and then walk out on the steps and give their. I got pictures of Kaley. In fact, I'll pull one up real quick right now. Can you get the thing ready to queue up? And let me see here. Are you good on that? Let's see.
Yeah, you're just wanting to pull up a picture on Cam 1, right?
Yep.
Yeah, just tell me when you're ready.
I'll tell you in a minute here. Hold on. I'm going to find a picture here of what you doing there.
I'm just pulling this.
Oh, you got a little stand.
Yeah.
That's so smart. Hold on, I've got the pictures. Just 1 second, I gotta find them here, because Apple has kind of put them out of order.
Made some silly choices lately.
Where are they? Oh, there they are. Okay. All right. Can I make
Am
it
I in
full
control
size?
of things right now? You want me to be in control during this show?
Hold on, just a second. New album selection.
Oh, my Lanta.
I'm working on it. Talk about something while I figure this out.
We're going to be going. Okay, so I will just comment that it's just been an incredible thing to.
Oh, there we go. I got it.
All right,
we're good to go.
Shut up now. Shut up.
Shut up now. Okay. I got the picture. All right, you can come back and talk about the same. Okay.
Hold on. No. So I'm switching. So
to
are we going
Cam
to Cam
1.
1?
Yep. And you can do. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Can I zoom on it? Oh, I can.
Boom.
All right.
Look at that.
Right there is Kaley, if you can see my mouse. And she is giving her presentation there. There's her husband. And there's my brother Joel. It's so cool. And I was just geeking out. And so they're out there on the steps. And we had been praying on our knees on concrete for. Can you switch it to no? Make it so that it's a halvesies over there.
You mean
the split thing. Yeah. You got to actually switch.
Oh yeah, sorry.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, so you can see right there that they're out there. There's Jim. He's the one who argued the case, and it was just awesome. They're out there on the steps of the Supreme Court, giving her speech or whatever. I don't even know what she said. We couldn't hear anything from right where we were sitting.
But boy, oh boy, were we proud to stand in the same square.
Yep, it was so cool.
It was so cool.
And so, all right, we can go back. All right, so we'll end there. And so, we were out there on the Supreme Court steps, and one of the ADF lawyers got a picture, or not lawyers, photographer. Here we go. Got a picture of us on the switch to Cam 1. There we go.
Cam 1.
There we go. Got a picture of us praying rosaries out there. How awesome is that?
So cool.
And
I'm going back to us now.
You go. Wait, hold on.
You want me to go back? Okay.
Yeah, just let it marinate for a second.
Hold on.
I mean, that's
Everyone
pretty good.
soak that in. Soak in that.
I mean, it was rough.
It
doesn't look like it was rough, but it was really hot right there. I was like, man, I'm gonna get a nice little sunspot on my forehead. But there were just so many crazy things. So anyway, we got to talk about all the crazy things. All right, you can switch back because you got all my stuff there. Okay, there we go. I should probably let you know before I
Yeah, but that's fine.
before I do that.
I'm doing a great job. I like to
You are
think
doing
I'm
good.
becoming Jamie.
Yes.
More, and I'm
More and more.
leaning into my Jamie.
Yes, you are.
know?
Yep. Okay, so where did we leave off? Okay, so anyway, so that's how we ended up there. So that was 4 years ago. The next time we talked to them is actually at here. Get ready to cue it up because is at the
Well,
what?
I
What were you
had
gonna
gotten
say?
to talk to her more than that, but yes.
Okay, you got to talk.
I got to
but
talk,
the last
yeah.
time I got to talk to her was 4 years ago.
Okay.
And it was at that get together, and so the night before we got to go and we got to have get pictures taken, and here's us wearing all the hats. You gonna show it?
Are you ready?
Yeah, look, if it's up there, you're ready to go.
All right.
And so here's
we
us, all the hats. Says biology matters, and I don't even know what does it say on there.
I don't remember.
Biological gender ideology harms, biological reality heals. It was so cool. And there's Kaley. It was such a good time. And then there's my lovely wife and me. We were there, and that's us in front of the ADF thing. What?
Is there? I have a better picture of that.
You got a better
That's
picture?
Goofy one.
Hold on.
There it is.
There's a
pretty
good one.
Yeah.
Well, James's eyes are closed.
Oh shoot. Well.
So
Oh,
they were closed for a while.
She's taking a nice
Look at
selfie.
that. That's two
Stop
in a
that.
row.
Keep going. Keep going.
So that's a good
Terrible.
one. Hold on, let me see if there's another
I
one.
switched it back.
Oh,
I
here we
switched
go.
It off.
Is this the
This is probably the music.
is this the music?
Hey Daniel,
What?
I'm just saying that might be.
No, you can play music. What? You gotta put it up there? It's not up there anymore. So this is us singing songs. Where's my brother's head? I love this song. It was so cool. All right, I'm switching back. Yeah, switch back. Yeah, so it was just an incredible time. And so then we got to go see some monuments and stuff, and it was just very cool.
It was so cool.
So
It
now
was
we should start with all the cool stuff. We
God.
do have to work on getting into the content faster because, we told everybody we were going to talk about all this cool stuff, and
Yeah.
we've kind of talked about our life, but that's okay.
That's fine.
Um,
It's what the people. We must give the people what they want.
that's true.
So if the people want something else, they have to tell us what they want.
Okay, so we started at. We're just going to go through the day. That's what we should do.
All right.
So, and I'm going to tell them about everything,
All right.
like
I don't know what everything.
even the weird St. Maximilian Kolbe stuff and the John Paul II stuff.
Yeah.
And
Go big
the
or go
Black
home.
Madonna, and the fact that there was a pilgrimage there with 2,500 Catholics.
All right.
I mean, it was a wild weekend.
It was. Okay.
So week. So So here's the first thing. So when we were at that
it was just a prayer,
it was
meeting.
I keep wanting to call it a pregame, but it's not pregame.
No, it's a spiritual.
It's a
pregame.
spiritual pregame, I guess you'd say.
Spiritual prep.
Prep, yeah, because pregames usually there's alcohol.
That's
There was no
alcohol.
alcohol
No, there's no
involved.
alcohol. No, it was
But
it
I
was
did have sparkling water.
prayer. No, it was prayer and worship,
Yep.
and
It was a good time.
beautiful. It was beautiful.
It was so cool because that was the next, it felt like the bookends of the whole thing. Because the last time we talked together as a couple, it was about this case and then whether or not she was going to take a stand and talk to ADF. And now we were here talking about how she was there. It was so cool. And so anyway, but we're at this worship thing. And becoming Catholic has definitely made me much more sensitive to God's movement in my life. And I love St. Maximilian Kolbe. I think he is gonna be my best friend in heaven. There'll be a line for sure, but I'm gonna be like, hey man, and he's gonna be like, just like he is to all the other people that he's helped. I'm gonna be in that line because I sat there, we were praying, and this is a Protestant worship thing. It's ecumenical. I mean, they didn't do anything crazy John Calvin was the best and the Catholic Church is dead. There was nothing like that. But it was just, very much like kind of taking me back to those Protestant roots. And all of a sudden I had this imaginative, that's all I can say. It's imaginative prayer. That's the only thing I can say. I had my eyes closed and I was sitting there and I just had this imagination moment where St. Maximilian Kolbe was standing there and he said, "Take my hand." And I was like, that's weird. And, and I have ADD, so it's not like I'm like sitting here going like, okay, Holy Spirit, like that's not my go-to kind of situation. I'm just like, okay, I just have a weird imagination. And the thought, I couldn't get it out of my head. And so I said, okay, kind of played along with my imagination, or so I suspected. And I put my hand in his hand, and then we kept singing, and I got in the car, and I after we were going home, I turned to Lindsay and I said, so something weird happened in there. I feel like I can tell you that because you're my wife. And you said,
I said, I love hearing those weird things.
Yes.
Those weird spiritual things that happen to you or that you think about.
Mm-hmm.
As any good wife ought to say to her husband. I love that weird stuff.
To be clear, like usually these things are nothing. And so they're just like, maybe I'll write a journal entry down or use it for a creative writing thing or something. But this one turned out to be very deeply moving. When we were out there praying the rosary.
So we're fast forwarding.
Yeah, we're fast forwarding. Okay. So I didn't tell you. I didn't tell you the thing. Sorry. It's a good thing you're here.
We're going chronologically.
Yeah,
we're not following a path.
We are though.
We're on Monday.
Yeah, we're on
Monday
night. And so I have this kind of imaginative experience of Maximilian Kolbe holding his hand out to me and telling me to take it. I was like, that's weird. I tell Lindsay about it in the car, and we go home, we go to bed, and then we wake up the next morning, and just as an FYI, we go to Starbucks.
We do.
And our barista was threatened by a DoorDash employee.
By a scholar.
No, not a scholar. By a DoorDash employee on like Catholic University of America's campus. So we're there to get coffee and go look at or go to mass early in the morning. And we're just waiting for our coffee. And like, it was crazy. Like this whole, like, it's a nice area too. And like this whole like fight erupts in the Starbucks there. And, ends with like a threat kind of a situation. So that was weird.
It was a bit stressful.
It was. And that was how the morning started.
We're not used to being in places where people threaten murder as a
solution. So I'm getting ready to pull up stuff. So keep that in mind. This idea that Maximilian Kolbe is asking for me to take his hand. And I'm kneeling there. We're fast forward to the Supreme Court steps. We've decided to kneel and pray these rosaries. And this is what it looks like. Can you cue it up and switch to cam 1?
Yep.
And so this is what it looks like. Okay, we're there. And this angle, you can't see it, but we were kneeling like that for an hour. And there was a lot of traffic behind us during that hour. It would come in waves, and people would start to set up. Some of the protesters on the other side started to set up cameras. I'm going to show you the protester lines here.
I'm going to jump back to
I got it right here. No, I got it right here.
Okay, you're ready.
So you can see here, there was probably like, I don't know, 50 to 100 people throughout the day. They had people coming and going. And there's us again. And so we are out there praying, and I am looking for, where's that other one? So we're out there praying, and here, switch it back.
All right.
And I start feeling people like hit me in the back. And can you put it on the halvesies things?
3, 2.
Yeah. And I'm starting to feel people hit me in the back. And it's making me a little bit nervous. And I had never done anything like this. I told some people afterwards who came up, some fellow Christians, that this was the first time I had ever done anything like this. And I was getting, and I was nervous. And I had always made fun of Christians, confession time, made fun of Christians for doing this kind of thing. And I said that God wanted me to know what it was like to be alone out there. Fortunately, I had my wife. And
And praise the, I mean, I'm
And
not
other
being
people
silly.
did show up, but yeah.
And I was just going to say, praise the Lord. I have a lot, maybe not a lot, but I do have a decent amount more experience just from pro-life work of being in highly contentious places and still being in prayer in the midst of, tumult.
And I did not. And so these people are bumping into my backpack as they're walking by. And I'm starting to get nervous. I don't know if they're just not able to, because it's if you've never done it, like you just don't know what to expect. And so I was getting nervous, and all of a sudden that thought came back into my head of St. Maximilian Kolbe. And
am I good to go back?
Yeah, you can go back. Of Maximilian Kolbe, and I looked down at my rosary, and I saw on my rosary that I knew I had my Maximilian Kolbe medal, but I looked down, and this is the medal that I saw. This is me taking the picture later so that I can remember. But this is my miraculous medal with a Father Kolbe medal on my rosary, and he's extending his hand.
Pretty wild.
And I was like, just like I had imagined, like exactly as it is on this medal. And I just put my thumb over it and kept praying and closed my eyes. And it was one of those moments where it wasn't that the fear went away, but the courage increased. And it was just a crazy moment. And that's the first one.
Yeah. So I would like to share
one
of the things that also happened. So, like I said, I have been in these situations a little bit more than you have. And so when we go out and start praying, the first thing I notice is it's really hot. Yeah. And that's just uncomfortable, but you accept it. And it was just such a grace. First of all, you're reflecting on the fact that it's Our Lady of the Rosary, aka Our Lady of Victory's feast day. So just appreciating that we get to be there, that we're praying the rosary, and that we have so much time to pray through all of the mysteries. All of that was happening. And then in the midst of just being hot, but prayerful, these clouds move over the sun. And I looked up, and it was just the most beautiful thing. The sun was shining through the clouds. And all I could think about were these instances where Mary appears to the saints, and this cool breeze started blowing. And it was just incredible. It felt so good. And we talked about it afterwards.
Was very nice.
We talked about it afterwards, how one of the gifts that comes from really investing and investigating your faith, and this comes from Bible reading, this comes from reading the stories of the saints, this comes through so many different avenues of exploration. But the more you know, the more God can touch you through these different means, and the more the saints can touch you. Because Mary did not appear to me while we were in front of the Supreme Court. That did not happen. However, all of those things happening, my being, focused in prayer, the sun just being covered ever so slightly with these clouds and this cool breeze, that is what always happens in these stories where Mary appears to the children of Fatima, to Bernadette at Lourdes. Like, it's this consistent pattern that you see. And so as it was all happening, all I could think was just, wow, like, I know that Mary loves us and that she cares about this issue also.
I thought you were going to say chemtrails.
Stop. You're on to me. But
that would have been a turn, huh?
I think Mary also cares about chemtrails.
Yeah,
but,
maybe.
Anyway,
keep going.
No, this was not a chemtrail. This was
it's not the Catholic Conspiracy Podcast.
This was a storm that was blowing in from Ohio. Have it on good authority. So anyway, no, it was beautiful, and it was so.
But it was also the perfect timing because there was that family.
There was a family with us praying, and they were very fair-skinned, and it was wonderful to know they were being preserved in our time of prayer, and everyone
they could only pray
down.
for the first.
The first mysteries.
Yep, which we started with the sorrowful ones.
Yep.
And then they had to go.
Yep.
But we had a cool cloud coverage for the whole sorrowful mysteries, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. The sun did come out once or a
Tomorrow?
little bit.
I'm just kidding.
I bet your bottom dollar. Anyway, so yeah, it wasn't like the sun was covered literally the rest of the time we were there, but that just continued to happen. The sun would get covered and this cool breeze would come, and it was just a great reminder of the love of our Heavenly Mother. So I was so grateful for that.
So that was a cool one.
Yeah, that was a cool one.
Then what else was there? Oh yeah. So typically the court cases will last like 2 hours.
Yeah, up to like 3 hours.
They were supposed to have 2 hours.
Yeah.
And just to, like, I mean, this was just crazy from, you know,
if you read the transcripts,
you read the transcripts and stuff. Like, it really appears that the ADF lawyers just did a great job, but also that God was just on their side. So one of the highlights of the moment, like we were only planning to pray for an hour, and we didn't really know how long they could be in there. We just thought, well, they should be done in an hour.
Yeah. Well, because I knew that another case was supposed to begin at 11. So I just assumed, it wraps up after an hour.
Right.
So we kind of finish up our prayer time.
Yeah.
And of course, all of this is this whole court proceeding is happening, and we have no clue what is happening.
Right.
We're not listening to it. We're not anything.
We're just out there praying.
Praying.
So we get done, and we're trying to decide if we should leave or if we should stay. And we're kind of wandering around, and those are some of the pictures where we decided to take some pictures in front of the Capitol building, and we kind of meander back, and we're about to leave, and then we bump into an ADF employee, and she tells us that the court case is basically done.
Yep.
And that they're going to be coming out soon. So basically, we prayed for an hour. They were almost done around the time that we finished. They were wrapping up.
Yeah.
And the thing, I would just like to point out this one thing. Like, that we were the only ones there because it was pretty clear that people from ADF usually are out there, but they had decided to not do that because they felt that it was going to be safer for everybody if they didn't do that. And so we decided we were going to go anyway because we wanted to make sure that there was a Christian presence there. I don't fault ADF for that, but that also made it pretty interesting to be out there, knowing that part of the reason why you were by yourself is because people felt like it was going to be dangerous. So, but we were fine, and it was amazing. But then they wrapped up, and Justice Sotomayor, who is very much a left-leaning thing, and I'm left-leaning judge. We haven't read the transcript. I guess we could try and pull it up, but I haven't really looked into it. But this is what we heard.
There are plenty of people covering it on Twitter.
You can find it.
Check it out.
And this is what it is. But go look it up. They Justice Sotomayor basically softballed them a question, right?
Yeah. So if I'm going to remember everything correctly, in short, they were trying to avoid. So Colorado was trying to avoid explicitly stating that they have a double standard where if someone comes to a counselor seeking to be treated and healed from same-sex attraction or from transgender, like a misalignment of their gender and physical, their biological sex, this Colorado attorney stated that it would be illegal or against code for a counselor to help someone get rid of same-sex attraction, but that it would be absolutely okay for them, and it would be required for them to affirm someone who wanted to be affirmed. So it was against the law for them to help someone who wanted to be helped out of it, but you would have to support someone who wanted to affirm it, which means that they were, explicitly stating they had a double standard. It was a rule that you had to affirm. And after that was stated by the by the Colorado attorney, apparently Sotomayor threw her hands up and said, well, there goes standing. And a gasp erupted from the room because whether or not Kaley had standing was one of the biggest questions of this case. Yeah. And so
I actually found Kaley's statement out in front of the...
Oh, wonderful.
Should we play it?
So let's play it in a second, but I want to make one more comment.
I've got it queued up.
Okay, I want to make one more comment. I felt like when we were hearing the play-by-play of what happened in the courtroom, it really felt like, again, this comes back to knowing your Bible and God showing you patterns of things. It was like a Balaam and Balak situation where, he's paying... Balaam? Yeah. It's not Balaam?
No, it's not Balaam.
Oopsie.
It's all right. Michael Knowles doesn't know how to say Philemon. He says Philemon. Philemon.
So is it Balaam and Balak?
I think it's Balaam and Balak.
Okay. So I forget who's the one paying the other to bless or to curse Israel, but one of them is saying, I'm paying you this money. I'll give you all these things if you will go up on the mountaintop and curse the people of God, curse Israel. And this man goes up, tries to curse Israel, and out of his mouth pours blessing. And frankly, it sounded like that was what happened in the courtroom, that people were trying to say and avoid saying the truth, and the truth just kept pouring out of their mouths. And I thought it was incredible.
It was just amazing. And we got to be there.
Yeah.
And watch them come out. But we didn't get to hear this part.
So
we're going to play this.
We're going to hear this for the first time.
Yeah.
All
Can
right,
you pull it up?
on. Yep.
Got
All
it
right,
up there?
let's do it. Yeah.
All right.
Hi, my name is Kaley Chiles, and I'm a licensed counselor in Colorado. I've spent my career using conversations to help people work through their struggles to achieve their goals. I've worked with clients dealing with trauma, addictions, and struggle with their gender and sexuality. I view my work as an outpouring of my faith. I want what is best for my clients, and often they seek me out because we have a shared faith. When I learned about Colorado's counseling censorship law, I was concerned about its impact that it would have on myself and my clients. Issues of gender and sexuality come up regularly with my clients in our counseling conversations. And Colorado's law would hover over every conversation I have with my minor clients, threatening me with a $5,000 fine, suspension from practice, and losing my counseling license. And while I certainly am worried about my livelihood, Colorado's law hurts kids struggling with gender dysphoria most of all. If counselors wish to engage clients on these issues, the law limits them to one option of encouraging kids to reject their body. That is a tragedy. Struggling kids benefit from access to voluntary counseling conversations that help them as they seek wholeness and gaining peace with their bodies. They deserve better than Colorado's one-size-fits-all approach. Today, my legal team at Alliance Defending Freedom told the Supreme Court that Colorado's law harms kids and censors speech. I'm hopeful that the court will see this clearly and protect free speech for me, for my clients, and for kids everywhere. Thank you.
Wow.
Ah,
good job.
way to go.
We know her.
Way to go, Kaley.
We know her.
I know him.
Santa, I know him. Yeah, it does kind of feel that way. And then they also have Jim Campbell, who was the guy who argued argued the case.
Let me know if you want me to.
Yeah. Let's put it up there. Let's play that one too.
Let's do it.
Because I haven't even watched this. This is live reactions, folks.
We were able to make arguments before the court challenging Colorado's counseling censorship law. This law is blatantly viewpoint discriminatory. It allows counselors to help a child pursue the path of gender transition, but if a child instead wants to consider getting comfortable with their body and realigning their identity with their sex, this law says they can't talk to a licensed counselor in the state of Colorado. That's unfortunate because it's harming kids every day. There are kids struggling with issues of gender dysphoria, and this law tells them that if they're seeking help in one direction, that licensed mental health professionals and counselors are not available to them. As we made our arguments to the court today, the court seemed very receptive to the points we were making. The court acknowledged that Colorado is trying to censor private conversations between licensed professionals and their clients. Specifically, that would be in violation of what this court said just a handful of years ago in the NIFLA versus Becerra case, where the court recognized the harms of censoring private conversations between counselors, doctors, and their clients. The court gave many indications that it was bothered by the law. It seemed to me that the court views this, at least many members of the court views this as a viewpoint-based law. And under the First Amendment, Colorado is not allowed to censor viewpoints based on which side of the aisle they fall on.
Boom!
Man, oh man.
He crushed it.
Totally crushed it.
Yeah. Hold on, I just want to see if there's any more stuff on here.
All right. Well, so
yeah.
You want to also tell people about the other great things that
Yes,
happened?
I do. I just want to I just searched on Twitter and all this great stuff is popping up from the court.
Which means that you too can search Twitter.
That's true. We don't have to watch it all.
Right.
But it is a podcast. It's part of the fun. My wife doesn't
fun.
listen to podcasts. She doesn't understand that this is kind of how it works.
But I love talking to you.
She gets a little nervous.
And
There's a Catholic guy who's out there.
Yeah, that was the priest I was telling you they had brought on just before we got there. Well, not just before, but.
Well, what did he say? Let's see what he said. Let's take a look.
Okay.
Let's take a look.
Let's see
what he says.
All right.
So,
all right, hold on, and then we'll come back and talk more.
in Kaley Chiles' case, and I've had a pleasure of meeting her, she's a wonderful woman. The state of Colorado is basically trying to say there's a one-size-fits-all solution to those who are struggling with gender dysphoria or gender sexual confusion. The state of Colorado wants to take away her license because in therapy with her clients who are struggling with sexual confusion or gender confusion, she offers them options, and the option in trying to explore what the truth is about their life, who they really are, and how they can better experience God's love and overcome these challenges. Even more important than the therapist, we have to think about the clients. I think many will be afraid to even bring this up to their therapist when they may be experiencing confusion and doubt about what to do, because they're going to think, well, the only thing they're going to tell me is that I need to become a member of the opposite sex. Every human person is unique. Every human person has different experiences. We all have a common human nature, but we're all unique and different. And to say that that everyone has to do this is just frankly outrageous. And we're praying the Supreme Court says no to Colorado and all the other states who want to do that.
Boom!
Amen.
Amen, Father. So anyway, yeah, you'll have to check that out. So did you bring it back? Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we got to talk about the rest of the stuff. So then we finish up, and people kept bumping into me and Lindsay. Oh, can we play the bagpipe guy?
Yeah. Why don't we? Is that?
It's
That's fine.
pretty cool.
Okay. All right.
It's pretty cool. We'll do the bagpipe guy in a minute. Okay. We won't. I mean, he's a bagpipe kid. I mean, he.
All right.
He was crushing it.
We're just taking a little.
We're not.
rabbit
No, we
trail
don't have
here.
to do that.
Okay.
We don't have to do that yet. We're not ready yet. I'll come back. I'll stay on topic.
Okay.
I'll stay on topic. But
People bumping.
Because once
Bumping.
so once we get done with that. Okay, so here's the ladies. All right, so can you put it up there?
Yep.
So
I'm just putting it up full cam.
after we get done praying, and people kept bumping into us for like the first 30 minutes, and then it just stopped. And I don't know if they hit you. They were hitting me the whole time.
No, they were not hitting me, thankfully.
Because I had a backpack on, so people just kept walking into my backpack. And I think most of it was on accident. But again, you're sitting there with your back, and you have no idea who's walking behind you. You know that there's a large group of people behind you that don't like you. And so you're just not really sure. And so then we stand up and we turn around, and we see these three ladies standing there. And there were some... I don't know what denomination they were, but they were some charismatic Christians, and they apparently had actually you can take it off. Yeah. They had apparently like been out there praying over that spot where we were, that spot would be completely empty, because the last time there was a freedom of speech or freedom of religion issue, they said that basically
The whole area,
the
had
left
been
had
covered.
basically taken over that whole spot, and so they had prayed that spot would remain empty.
And that
so-
any protesters would be kept to one side of the Supreme Court.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, well,
so
that was what they were saying, is
Okay.
that they wanted them to stay out of that
so
half.
so then what happened is that we stand up and they tell us this, and they basically were they there basically to see if God had answered their prayer, or were they just there?
Well, they had been praying so much for this Supreme Court
Yeah.
outcome. So I think that they were there to just see what was happening,
Yeah.
and to see if God had answered that prayer of theirs,
Yeah.
that the protesters would be kept to a minimum and that the faithful might be there.
Yeah.
So
And so anyway, so they come up and then they just were super encouraging. They prayed over us. It was the first time I'd ever heard prayers spoken in tongues. That was an experience. Lovely people that were just very, very kind. And one lady like sang a song over me. It was just beautiful stuff. And it was just crazy. It was crazy how deeply personal the verse that she chose to sing over us. I don't even remember what it was. It was Zephaniah. She even told us a reference. I can't remember what it was, but it was Zephaniah. It was I should just read that whole minor prophet. But it was crazy.
Yeah.
And you were like
It was
squeezing my
awesome.
hand the whole time, because
I
even
was.
the prayer, like all three of them were
it was
praying for us.
beautiful. It was beautiful.
And like they were praying about things that these people did not know who we were.
Yeah.
They had no idea what we were,
All they-
what we have been striving for, or any of those kinds of things.
Yep.
And every word they said in their prayer was like spot on.
Yep.
So anyway,
It was beautiful. No, and it was so amazing. They were so encouraged. We were so encouraged to see them, and they were so encouraged to see us. And I just think that is, I was so overcome by the beauty of being a body of Christ, because I looked at these women and I thought, wow, like I am in a city I'm not familiar with. We just got done praying our rosary, and these women are, practically crying at the fact that
Oh, yeah.
we are here, and they're like, oh my goodness, the Lord answered our prayer. And, here we were just being obedient, and look at them. They were just being obedient. And you see this body of Christ in action, and it was just incredible. It was incredible to see brothers and sisters that way.
Yeah.
And to feel the unity of our Christian faith, bringing us all together for
Right.
the truth. And again, it's that we all love the Lord, and we are all seeking after what is true, good, and beautiful. Because it's not true or good or beautiful to tell kids to maim their genitals.
right.
So
And so anyway, can we rewind for a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so the day before, we go to the Shrine of the Immaculate Conception, which is, so here's some photos of Lindsay and me.
okay, so I'm going to the
Yep,
scripture
go
now.
to that. Yeah, and put it on
Here.
the 3. So there we are at the Shrine of the Immaculate Conception, and it is huge. Like, everybody needs to go there. And I mean, it's just massive. And this is the backside. We go into these doors with my brother. He's a Protestant, which was totally fine. We just, told God, hey, he's
you're not
with
going
us.
to turn into a pile of
Yep.
ash if you walk in without
And,
a Catholic.
well, no,
You
that
can-
is what happens.
I mean, I guess, yeah, you're right.
You got to tell people that is what happens.
Yeah,
You
that
don't
is-
go into these churches unless you are
got a
Catholic.
bona fide Catholic. They can't see our faces.
They can't see my face. I'm making
Nope.
faces at the camera. That's because God doesn't want me to
He's
make
winking.
fun of
He's
you.
winking at you all.
So anyway, so they have these cool things all over the place, and we go inside, and this is another cool God thing. We walk in there, and this thing is so huge. And over here on the left, you can see that the sun is shining through these lights or whatever, and it just looks like a Sacred Heart
It
on the
does.
side of that
Totally
wall. And I
does.
pointed it out to my brother. I was like, dude, look at that. And even that shot really looks like it. And so we're walking around this place. I mean, it's just huge. It's so huge. You're
beautiful.
so small in this building. And okay, so then we go into some shrine. And
Right.
so we go,
I'm going
let me
back
go
to-
to so this is where we did mass in the lower
So
crypt
I'm going back.
that day. which is much smaller. It's beautiful. It's like the catacombs, and it's just really, really beautiful. There's the organ. That guy was really good, by the way.
He did great.
And then let me see if I can find another picture. So that's us leaving. They actually did adoration before we left, and so anyway, so we're down there. But as we are walking through, can you switch it back to the to the other one?
To us?
Yeah.
Okay.
As we're going
back
through
to
this
you.
huge church, the whole time I'm sitting there going, man, like it'd be so cool to like be in this church when it's full of people celebrating Mass. I mean, that's got to be an experience. And I thought to myself, that'll never happen.
Yeah, what would be the odds that we'd be there in town for some huge Mass?
Right.
This
And
is on Monday, the day before the feast day. So
now fast forward to the next morning, we go to the Dominican House of Studies, and we go to Mass there. I know, it's all right. I'm going quick. Oh, I'm trying to find it.
it's like if anyone ever had what's that called? Not Vizio.
Man, we really took a lot of pictures that day.
You did. You killed it. You're the sole picture taker.
So here we go.
All right.
All right, put it up with the
right.
threes.
Wait, with the cam 3?
Yeah, with the like split. There we go. So this is us at Mass at the Dominican House of Studies. It was awesome. We got to see some of the brothers. And that was what we did the morning of the case. And so we go, we pray our rosaries, and then we leave. And we decide that we want to do a tour at the Basilica of the Immaculate Conception.
This is after we're done praying.
After done praying and everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Are we staying on? Are we
no, you
staying
can
on
switch
this?
off.
Switch off. Okay.
And so
Oh, nope.
we'll come back to it in a second.
Okay.
So then we go and we call the church. You called the church, right?
Yeah, I called the church and I said, "Hey, I'm trying to schedule our participation in the afternoon, one of the afternoon tours, but it looks like they're all full and I don't know what to do." And she said, "We're so sorry, but there is a massive pilgrimage happening right now at the cathedral. All tours are off. They're having a huge Mass at 3 p.m. And I hang up the phone and I'm so dejected and I say, "Daniel, I'm sorry. We're not going to be able to get a tour of the Basilica because it's all shut down for a big old Mass." And Daniel, being the rogue that he is, says, "Well, couldn't we just go?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, it's somebody else's pilgrimage." He was like, "And?"
That's right.
So we joined Allentown, Pennsylvania's pilgrimage Mass.
Yeah. I got the program right here.
It was awesome.
Here, put it up. Put it
okay,
up.
Okay.
It's right there.
All right, hold on.
Put it on the 3.
I know.
Here we go.
Hold on.
Yep, there it is.
There it is.
They brought their whole diocese there.
It was so
And
cool.
it looked like this. Look at that.
It was packed.
It was full.
so full.
They had
So full. It was really, we were like, we're not going to get seats. We're
the
going to be standing in the
procession
back.
took like 2 songs.
They had to sing through the whole hymn
Twice. Yeah.
And then it was like
it was like 6 verses.
Oh, yeah.
It was long.
It was a long time.
And so there's 2,500 people in this thing. So this is where the next thing becomes kind of cool. So here, click off of that.
All right.
So we walk into this thing. We were 30 minutes early before Mass even started. And we could, before we get to that, I got a clip here. Hold on, let me see what this is.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
Cool.
So here's what happens. We're walking through there, and we cannot find a seat anywhere, like at all. And we are trying to find something, and it's busy in there, and there's tons of people. And we're walking by, and it's packed. Like everybody's like butt to butt. And we are trying, and people are already filling overflows because they've just given up on any sort of seat. And about a week and a half ago, I had seen the movie The Triumph of the Heart, which is a movie about St. Maximilian Kolbe. And I just talked about that on the podcast the other day. You can look it up. And one of the scenes in that movie is a scene where Mary appears to St. Maximilian Kolbe as the Black Madonna, which is a icon of Mary that some people who were persecuting the Catholics in Poland tried to destroy. And when they tried to burn it, the glass melted on her face and turned it black. And then they tried to hit it with like a sword, and it broke the sword, or so the story goes, or something like that. But they put 2 cuts on her face. And so in the movie, there's this apparition of Mary who comes, this vision of Mary, I should say, to Maximilian Kolbe in the cell, and she's got these scars on her face. And after we got done, some people were talking and saying, I didn't understand that reference. What was that reference to? Why did Mary have scars on her face? And I was able to say, oh, well, that's the Black Madonna and all this kind of stuff. And so we get up there, we're finishing and talking, and after I got done, I just remember being like, man, like one day I would love to see the Black Madonna, or even just like something like it.
A really solid replica.
Yeah, real solid replica would definitely satisfy the option there. And so anyway, but I just kind of walked off because we do what I call redneck pilgrimages. We go to these like replica places because we don't have the cash to go to these beautiful sites. And maybe one day we'll get to go. And the only reason why I think that now is because of this whole experience. But what ended up happening was we're walking, and then can you cue this up?
Yeah.
We're walking by, and in the church, there's these shrines on either side.
You ready for me to put it up?
Yeah,
right
put
now?
it up. Either side, on both sides of the actual church, there are altars
like
all over the place.
Smaller little chapels.
Like little
basically.
chapels that are like overflows. And these chairs are basically set up for people to go in there. They ended up taking those chairs out.
And there were probably like 10 little mini chapels like this around the upper church.
Yep. And so anyway, this is one of them. And we walk by, and I turn and look, and I didn't see this when we were there the day before. And I say, Lindsay, look, it's the Black Madonna. And let me see if I can find it, because I got a close-up of it. There it is. So I have this shot of the Black Madonna, and you can see that there are these scars on her face, if you can see that. And I looked, and I said, Lindsay, look at that. And we turn around, and there are these huge, or not huge, there's these two, there's a seat, there's 2 seats open, like right there. Now, granted, I had to tell the little school kids to move over because they were hogging it. They were hogging the pew, and I was like, dude, like what the heck? Like there's 2,500 people in here. Move over. Come on.
Clearly, these are our seats.
Yeah.
They've been chosen for us.
That's right. And I asked, are you saving them? I was nice.
No, you're so sweet.
And they said no. And so anyway, they moved over, and cool Polish saint moment number 3 was before we left, I had this thought of like, like I have this picture downstairs in my basement of John Paul II and St. Maximilian Kolbe, but like I've never really had anything crazy happen that I can really connect to John Paul II, but my son really likes him, so I guess that's enough. But Maximilian Kolbe for sure. Like I've had some very deep personal spiritual experiences, like what happened at the Supreme Court with the medallion and his hand extended and stuff. But here I've had nothing. And so then as we're sitting there in this church service,
also known as a mass.
A mass. Sorry, it's not a service. Father Kirby would kill me. So we go and we sit down at the mass.
Can you zoom in on it?
Yeah, I'll zoom in on it.
Before I switch it over.
It's okay. You don't need to be sensitive about the people in the pictures. It's the era of social media. If I put it up on the internet, they'll be all right.
All right.
It's going to be fine.
All right.
But is that better?
Yeah, it looks great.
Now she's like Wilson from Home Improvement.
That's fine.
That's probably better. There you go. We're respecting people's privacy here.
Yeah.
So anyway, are you ready?
Yeah. You
Okay.
want me to put it up right now?
Okay, so I sit down and I look to my left. What?
It's just, you're telling the story. I was just like preemptively getting excited. Keep going.
Okay, so anyway.
I was just
I didn't mean
shock and awe.
I probably said what, like I was a little frustrated there. I was like, what? There's a little window into our marriage. So you got to be able to laugh about these things, folks. You can't take yourself too seriously. Otherwise, you're going to say, what? On the podcast. So I'm sitting there and I look over and this is like between two pillars, like on either side. And John Paul II is looking me in the face right before Mass starts. And I'm like, hit Lindsay. I'm like, Lindsay, look at that. It's John Paul II. He's looking at us.
He's looking at me.
He's looking at us. And that was cool. But then, here, close it out real quick. I'm going to switch to a different photo. But then, as if it wasn't, that would have been enough for a Catholic to be like, oh, cool. Like,
you ready for
no.
Okay, all right.
That would have been enough for a Catholic to, say, oh, but it's not switching around. Okay.
Well, okay. Yeah, we'll switch now.
That would have been enough for a Catholic to be like, John Paul II loves me. Like, that would have been enough. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then I walk up to the picture afterwards just to take a closer look. And what do I find? But Pope John Paul II prayed in this chapel during his papal visit October 7th, 1979, which was the day of Kaley's case. And it was the day that Mass was being celebrated. And we were sitting right there on the same day.
Same day.
He had prayed in that chapel like whatever that year is.
That's 46
years ago.
Yep.
To the day. And I'm convinced John Paul II and Mary got us that seat.
100%.
Like,
yeah,
it was unreal.
Amazing. It was amazing.
Unreal.
And it was such a beautiful Mass.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It was unreal. So I've got video. We're going to play some video here.
You going to play the video?
So here is, I think this is the Salve.
Yeah.
I think this is Salve.
Come on. It was so
There's all the priests. There were 45 priests.
3 monsignors, 1 bishop.
They distributed communion in like 15 minutes. That's
It was faster than a normal Sunday.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Our sound is wrong.
Cam 1 is the sound. Cam 1 is the sound.
You're right. Way to go.
So anyway, that was the Salve. And what else was there? There was one other thing. Oh, there's one other thing. Okay, so I've got to show. So it was just crazy. So then there was this. This is a little jab at Protestants and Catholics. So we walk into this gift shop
At the shrine.
and it is ironic that C.S. Lewis has his own section in this Catholic shop, and it's right in front of heaven, hell, and purgatory.
I bet someone has a really deep sense of humor.
Yeah.
And they did that on
I don't
purpose.
think they did that on purpose.
So?
No.
I think that's next level.
No, I don't
Okay.
think so.
Well, then God
But
did it.
here's the thing that's cool. I will say this, and I've said this before. Catholics love Protestants more than Protestants love Protestants. I'll say it again. Catholics love Protestants today. Important qualifier. More than Protestants love Protestants. And this is like one of the most Catholic places in America. And they have a section totally dedicated to C.S. Lewis because they recognize that he is that good. And I just think that's really cool. Yeah. And but there were more Catholic-y things that happened where God just was like, hey, man, great job praying that rosary out there, you two. You guys crushed it. It was like everything was just overflowing with the love of God for us in these incredibly unique ways. And so my brother and I and my wife, who is right here.
Here I am.
Walk into the store. We're trying to get out on time. And I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that one.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
You're
one
naggy.
One of us was trying to get out on time.
One of us was trying to nag. I was trying to do what God wanted me to, and my wife was like, eat the apple. Eat it. I'm just kidding. So anyway, we're walking through. Was it you or did Joel see
I was the one that
you saw it?
I was the one.
So we're walking through. You're gonna have to put this. It's gonna cut it off if you put it up the other way. So just put it up by itself.
Just put it up as a whole.
So there is this painting that is very memorable in my family life, and it is a painting of Mary and Jesus and Joseph on a donkey walking through a field, and it's called The Flight to Egypt.
It's painted by a guy named Hitchcock.
Yeah, and I hated this painting as a kid. It is now one of my favorite paintings as a Catholic, but I actually played like underneath this painting my whole childhood. In fact, my mom told me that I actually cracked my knee on the painting. And so to show you what that is, I have it queued up. We are walking through, you could put it up there. We're walking through this gift shop, and all of a sudden my wife says, Daniel, Joel, look. This is the painting that is currently over my fireplace. Mm-hmm. I have never seen this painting anywhere else in my life. Now, I understand it's the world. There's going to be some Catholic on the internet like, oh, whatever, in my area.
We have it in
every store.
Every single store has it.
You think you're a saint already? You've only been in the church for 2 years. Slow your roll, buddy. But anyway, no, it was so cool. And so anyway.
You ready for me to go back?
Yeah. So this painting was a big part of our life, and I don't know what Joel said, but I think we both said, well, that's weird.
Yep.
And like, I mean, we've never seen this painting anywhere else in our life, except for in our home.
Yeah, I've only ever found it online looking at, comparisons to ours. Now,
Right.
I know that there's one friend that we know who was familiar with the painting, and I think actually has a copy of it, but he was shocked when he came to our home and saw it and said, how do you have that? I've never seen this painting before, and I have one. So it's not a very common piece of art in most faith, in most Catholic homes.
What are the odds that on Mary's feast day, Our Lady of Victory, Our Lady of the Rosary, that my brother and I and my wife would be at the Supreme Court for our friend and then walk over to the Basilica of the Immaculate Conception and find our family painting of Mary in that church? Because we were Protestants and we were anti-Catholic, like super anti-Catholic. So like, this is nuts. And so anyway, I can't get over whenever I look at this. I think I'm actually like I'm being so loud. I think I'm over there, but that's okay. So anyway,
should I put my hand
no,
up
that's
like
okay.
that?
So that was crazy. Now the last one. I think this is the last one that I can say. Do you have any other crazy stories? Because I only have one more.
I don't remember the other ones. I think that the ones you're talking about are more or less the ones that I would be talking about too.
Okay.
I mean, a few smaller ones. My confirmation saint is Saint Margaret of Scotland, and it was just beautiful. She really does not appear often in other places.
Yeah.
And when we walked into the basilica, one of the first things I noticed was Saint Margaret of Scotland up on the side, and I just thought, wow,
Yeah, she's hard to find medallions for.
Yeah, she's just not well known, or maybe she fell out of fashion. I know that saints kind of come and go in their attractiveness in society, but it was just so special to see, like, oh, she's mine. I'm one of hers, and she's mine, and there she is, and it was really special to be there. So,
Yep. Yeah. And so then, I mean, that one was cool too.
Yeah.
And then what else was there? There were so many things.
There were so many things.
And then the last thing that I'll share is that, because it's funny, is that I really wanted a rosary from this gift shop, like very badly.
Come hell or high water.
Yeah, I wanted it. And
Daniel was going to have a rosary.
that's right. And
and he knew the kind he wanted.
I did. I wanted like dark wood, very small bead, and I wanted it to fit in my pocket, just super simple, because I have a lot of rosaries that kind of like bulge like in my pocket. And I have like rugged rosary, and they're great. I love them. But sometimes I want something a little smaller, especially if there's like a formal Catholic event or something like that. And so I really wanted to find, especially one from this super cool church that we just got to go to mass at yesterday and all this stuff. So this is the last day that we're there. And we're going to the gift shop, and Lindsay is like, we got to go. Come on, we got to go. And I'm like, I'm looking for a rosary.
We did have to go.
And I was like, stop nagging me. And she was like, I'm not nagging you. And we're doing like this thing. And it's so funny because that's what happened when we hiked Pikes Peak.
It is.
It's like we go into a gift shop and it's like we want to test the waters of our marriage.
Yeah. Are you going to trust me?
Yeah.
And am I going to trust you? To be fair, I have grown a lot since then.
I haven't had to grow in this area.
I needed to grow a lot more, and I have grown a lot more.
One day we'll tell the story of Pikes Peak, the donuts, and the coffee mug.
Yes, but not this night.
Not this time. But it's coming.
So, rosary.
So anyway, rosary. I'm walking around, and they have two gift shops in this store.
Little did we know.
So here's the cool thing. That painting that we just talked about was on the slow side. So we asked the cleric, hey, do you have any more rosaries? He's like, oh, they got a ton more on the other side of the basilica. Just go across. So you go across. There's two gift shops in there. So we go in there, and sure enough, they have rosaries everywhere. But man alive, they're feminine. Like, it's like, guys, come on. We need some like swords and shield rosaries over there, some skeleton ones, some hardcore. Yeah, we need some hardcore stuff.
Slaying demons.
But anyway, so I was struggling. To find one. Lindsay's pestering me.
I am encouraging you
the whole time.
I'm encouraging you to make haste. Make haste.
Yeah. It was like a penitential pestering is what it was. I was trying to stay on the straight and narrow, and she was trying to distract me from the Lord's mission. And so anyway, we're going through, and I mean, you had to have been said this like 15 times.
Oh yeah,
no, and I was like, stop nagging me. I'm looking for something specific. And there's like kids around. like there's a school trip. And you're like nagging me. We're like fighting in the gift shop.
9:30 in the morning. And I'm like, we have got to go. Anyway, so
we're like fighting in the gift shop. And like these kids are all around.
Nothing says the road to St. Like fighting in a basilica gift shop at 9 in the morning.
That's right.
You know?
And so anyway, we go in there and I'm looking everywhere. And she is getting mad. And like she's holding it together, but she's getting pretty frustrated. You basically said, "I'm going over there if you don't hurry up."
Yeah, I was like, "I'm going to go pay for things."
And I said, "Hold on, I just need to find a rosary." And so I'm looking, and it's hard enough for me to find stuff in a store. When you've got your wife like nagging at you, I mean, this is really drawn out. People are going to be like, "You better have found a first-class relic." It's not that good. So anyway, we're walking along, and the other saints, so the three saints that like really impacted us were John Paul II finding us our seats, St. Maximilian Kolbe holding his hand, and then our Blessed Mother, obviously at the Shrine of the Immaculate Conception, getting to see the like largest celebration of the Mass I have ever seen in my life and probably ever will.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like what are the chances that we're going to see that? Unless like we go on like some super pilgrimage or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I said, like we're not exactly loaded, so we don't get to go on these things very often. And so anyway, but it's so cool because, like that's something Protestants say, but God still provides, like we got to do this thing and it's almost like a little bit better that way, And
Keeps
so anyway,
you humble.
Yeah.
Keeps you humble.
But so we're walking through this gift store and all of a sudden I turn and I see this wooden rosary and don't put it up yet.
I'm not.
And I'm like, dang, it's a necklace. I can't do a necklace rosary. That's not going to fly.
That ain't going to fly.
I mean, I had like a little like latch on the back, clasp
no,
on the back, and I was like,
that ain't happening.
Nope, we've already got an LGBT problem. We don't need another one.
One thing to note for anyone who does not know, you are not supposed to wear your rosary. It is not meant, it's not a piece of wearable jewelry.
The Immaculate Conception, because they're selling them.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder why they're
saying,
selling them.
They shouldn't do that.
They're not meant to be worn. They're meant to be
worn.
prayed. Anyhow,
but anyway,
continue.
We're new, so we're figuring it out. So anyway,
terrible too.
So then we go to the other side, and I see we walk around, and I've looked in every corner of this little gift shop, and I finally find this rosary, and I grab it, and I'm like, see, Lindsay, look, I found it. This is the rosary I'm supposed to have. And she said, good, let's leave. And I looked down, and the saint that's on it is Padre Pio. It is a Padre Pio rosary. Now, I understand that Padre Pio is super popular, but he is not a saint that I was looking for in our journey in. And so you can show the rosary now. So this is the rosary that I found, and you can see his little head there in the shot if you pull it up, like right down here, there, and on the other side of this, there's a rosary, and there's like little rosary beads with his face on it. And I only learned about Padre Pio because I really just wanted to read the craziest saint that I would have to defend to my Protestant family members. Little did I know that according to the biography I read, that when he was getting ready to enter into the priesthood, he took his set of initial vows.
Temporary vows?
Yeah, his temporary vows on my birthday. And then he took his permanent vows on Lindsay's birthday. And there's other more detailed things that were just weirdly relevant to my life that he went through that really struck me. So this is my plug. You got to read the lives of the saints. If you don't feel connected to the saints, it's because you're just not.
You're not reading them
You don't
enough.
know anything about them.
Yep.
That is the actual fact. Like if somebody were to come up to you and say, "Hey, is there a saint that is really inspired you to live a Christian life or anything like that?" And somebody says, "No, not really." It's like, well, then you haven't read any of their biographies.
Yep.
Like if you read a saint and you find out that something significant in their life happens and it's on your birthday, dude. Like, start asking that saint's intercession. You don't know what's going to happen. So anyway, the fact that this was a Padre Pio rosary, when I grabbed it, I thought it was just a normal rosary, and there were only 2 left. And I was like, oh my word. And then I found out that apparently that cloth on the back is something that they've touched to his gloves to make it like a 3rd-class relic.
Yeah.
Which is super cool.
So cool.
So like I have a Padre Pio rosary from this weekend.
Yep.
That is like totally going to remind me of this time. And so that beautiful. Like it's just like God came out of heaven and just was like, great job, guys.
Yeah.
Here's a victory lap for all of the prayers that you offered and for being a good testimony, because none of this stuff had to happen. None of it had to happen. The church could have been closed for maintenance or whatever. There could have been any number of things. But the way that the dates all lined up, it was just crazy. And all our favorite saints lined up with those dates.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just wild. And then the family painting. I mean, like, that is crazy.
It was wild.
I mean, like, when you become Catholic, I'm just telling you, like, the veil becomes thinner. It's just true. Like, you just see God way more in more personal and deeply intimate ways. I mean, it wasn't just Catholic stuff. It was like charismatics also like coming up because we're praying rosaries. Okay.
Right.
It's not because they're charismatics. They came up because we were praying rosaries.
And there was even one stranger who walked up to me and asked me what we were doing. And I explained to him that I was praying a rosary. I asked him if he knew what a rosary was. And he said that he had an idea of it because he came from a family with some Catholics in it. But he told us, total stranger, and he told us how much he appreciated Daniel's and my show of faith. Even though this guy was not a Christian or anything like that, he was so touched just to see us there. And again, these are the things where it's not about you.
Right.
It is all about Christ. Like, And I know it sounds canned and corny to say it, but it's just, it's the truisms that sound the simplest, but they're also the truest. You know what I mean? So.
Yep. So anyway, that is the end of this episode. Do you have
Yeah.
anything else you want to say?
No, it was an incredible trip. I'm so thankful that God opened up the door for us to do it and to go celebrate and, well, cheer for Kaley and James and Joel. And I guess we'll have to see what happens.
Well,
Our
we are
Lady
going
of
to close
Victory.
us out with bagpipes because we bumped into a kid who was wearing a Make America Great Again hat and was playing bagpipes. And it was
bagpipes.
awesome.
All right. Let me go to our old switcher. We're ready.
All right. Just put it up on the full screen. Because
You want a full screen?
Yep.
Okay.
And then I got a picture with him. There I am. I don't know what his name was, but man, that kid was crushing it. So anyway, thank you very much for all of you listening. We will see you on Saturday. My plan is to put the Christina Janung interview up on Saturday. So it will just be a pre-recorded interview, but you will not want to miss it. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you've gotten this far. And we will see you guys on next Tuesday.
Yeah.
I think it's next Tuesday. So,
Yeah.
all right. Have a good night.
God bless.
All right. Don't stop the recording. Put it up. You got to share the thing. Share the
What do I gotta do?
share the screen.
Share the screen.
Yeah, share the
All
screen. I
right.
should have told you.
There we go.
All right, there we go.
There
We
it
just have
is.
to let it run out so that way we don't just turn off the stream.
So now do I turn off the stream?
What I would do is I would turn off the cameras. Like turn off
literally go
mute
run
the
and
cameras.
Turn off. Oh, like through the switcher.
Mm-hmm.
So like off. But now you've off. Wait, I just turned cam 1 off.